I know it's springtime, but you might want to throw on a black hoodie and some black Timbos for this one. What is good, y'all? It's your boy Mixtape Moth. If you are rocking with this content, go ahead and smash that like button for your boy. Also, subscribe if you haven't. But today, I'm going to be hitting y'all with my thoughts on this new project from Onyx entitled Lower East Side. Grimy bald heads have returned. So we know that Onyx is a legendary group coming out of the south side of Queens. In recent years, they have been fairly active, dwelling in the underground scene, putting out projects that unfortunately haven't gotten as much exposure as earlier Onyx releases would have. Now, the last Onyx album that I reviewed was their 2021 release, Onyx for Life. But I had listened to their 2022 drop, Onyx versus the World. Onyx versus Everybody, which was pretty solid. And truth be told, I didn't hear their World Takeover project nor Blood on DX, so I can't speak on those. But Onyx has been working over the years. Now, Fredro Starr actually had stepped into his producer bag a little more in recent times. And I recall enjoying much of what he did for the UFO Feeve album Strap from last year. But this new drop, Lower East Side, actually doesn't contain any production from Fredro Starr. Rather, it was solely produced by the Queen's rapper, producer, and I believe A&R, Lord Nez, who is pretty active behind the scenes. He's not too famous, but if you know, then you know he reps Queens like no other. So this Lower East Side project, it contains 13 songs lasting approximately 36 minutes. There are no features, just Onyx getting busy over Lord Nez production. But with that being said, let me go ahead and just hit y'all with that track-by-track breakdown. The opener, Black Skinheads, has a polarizing title, obviously, and there is something about this title that may put you in the frame of mind of Kanye's recent antics. But this has a minimalist, stripped-back, boom-bap beat. But yeah, Sticky was going off, getting a little wild and disrespectful, but this was a high-intensity opener nonetheless. The second song, We Will Rob You, has the same repurposed hook that Ray and Slick Rick had on Cuban Links 2. But this has a murky bass line and just rugged basement-like production. Sticky has a ultra menacing verse that ends abruptly. Also, his voice does sound more weathered and hoarse than we've heard in a while. But track 3, America's Nightmare, is one of the standouts. I like this faster paced, unsettling beat and the vocal sample, of course, from Last Days. Sticky has another grim, apocalyptic type verse. But yeah, this was one of the ones that instantly got my attention. Next is Stray Shots, which uses the same sample from Nas's Thief's theme. Really a sample that you can't go wrong with. And you get some storytelling here, some pretty vivid picture painting from Sticky Fingers that was a bit reminiscent to those Kirk Jones album days, but altogether a gritty Queens record. Immediately after is the early 90s style Tear Shit Up. Now this beat is oozing with that explosive early 90s energy. The liveliness is infectious, and Sticky came through with the witty line, stick up kids of America, stop crying, bitch, open up the register, I ain't voting, my gun ain't even registered. Then there is another highlight, Rock Box, where they keep things heavy Queens by sampling from Run DMC's Rock Box. And this is very fitting given that you have Queens legends paying homage to iconic Queens pioneers. So it was definitely dope to hear Onyx over this particular Run DMC sample. Sticky Fingers talks about remaining a bald head to the grave, while others may have changed hairstyles up or changed for the fame. Onyx still remains the same, and Fredro had the pro QU lines, bulletproof Carhartt jeans when I ride through Queens, Southside, the home of Supreme Team. Right after is Lower East Side, a track that has this old school 80s hip hop rock energy. You might even get a slight Beastie Boys vibe from this, but they are talking about some fun wild adventures. Really anything can happen when you step into Lower East Side. This is followed up by Get Wasted, which has another 80s rock / punk type of instrumental that wasn't bad, but I didn't like this one as much as some of the others. The production here just felt a little flat for me. Then there is Monsters Under My Bed, where we get some more transparent bars from the two about their mental state. But yeah, this one has some of Sticky's most sinister lines too. But I like the moody psychedelic rock production. It was hard, it was spooky. Following this is Over Petty Shit. This has a rough, rugged, raw, stripped back sound that was a nod to their 90s material. Really a straightforward gutter instrumental for them to flex their ruthlessness on, talking about messing dudes up over petty stuff. Track 11 is the murky and lo-fi anthem, New York, What Up? Now, this isn't on the same type of level of an anthem like Walking New York, but it's a solid New York street record nonetheless. One where they shout out the many parts of the 5 boroughs, but Sticky made it a point to emphasize how he still takes pleasure in robbing out-of-towners in Midtown. The second to last track, Green Eggs and Spam, is a from nothing to something type record, set to a darker rap rock beat. Here, they reflect on coming a long way from the days of Kool-Aid, slanging crack, and eating that green eggs and spam. And this project closes out with the chilling Creeping in the Park outro. It's just a short way to wrap things up with Fredro Starr harmonizing a catchy little frame that's still ominous. So overall, I'm gonna give this project a rating of a 3.5 to possibly a 4 mics. Obviously, I haven't heard every Onyx project in recent years, but from what I've heard, I feel this is their best release since their 2014 album with the Snow Goons. From a production standpoint, Lord Nez clearly understood the assignment, and that was to provide the duo with some raw, simple but effective beats that represent Queens, but also have that slight rock edge. This project seemed to pay homage to the 80s and early 90s New York scene quite a bit. At the end of the day, it's a dope drop that will likely go under the radar, unfortunately, but nonetheless, definitely worth checking out if you are an Onyx fan. And it's good to see they are still rejuvenated and continuing to make their raw and uncompromising, angry style of hip hop. My favorite tracks include America's Nightmare, Stray Shots, Tear Shit Up, Rock Box, Monsters Under My Bed, Over Petty and New York, What Up? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. It's your boy Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but as always, it's peace and blessings. Onyx, Lower East Side.